Do you, as a player, or you guys as players, like, I mean, this is gap, from Saturday to Friday, then Saturday, and then you got like another week. Is that a good thing, or I know you like to play games probably more than practice?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. We get some time to recover a little bit. Guys get some extra time in the gym to do some stuff individually. So it's a good thing. Obviously we like to play games, but it's also good for us to recover and be able to recoup a little bit.
Have you guys practiced some stuff this week that maybe usually in a typical week when you're more focused on scouting you don't get to practice?
Yeah, since we had a lot of time this week before this next game, we definitely worked on some things that we probably wouldn't have had a chance to work on if we had a game, Wednesday or earlier on in the week.
What were some of those things?
Just working on zone offense, press break, stuff like that.
Anything you individually? I'm sorry. Anything you individually, in particular, are working on this week during this period where you have time to work on stuff?
Yeah, I've gotten in the gym and by myself, obviously get up a lot of shots and worked on my handle a little bit in some of the free time I've had. And, I know other guys are doing the same thing.
How much film review have you done over these first few games about your play and your development this season, and maybe compare that to where you had hoped to be by now?
I've watched a lot of film, with the coaches. I've watched film with Coach Mack. Actually, the other day, he called me up and we watched some film. It definitely helps, and it's going to continue to help down the long run. Seeing yourself on video, it shows you a lot of your flaws and a lot of stuff you need to work on. So it's definitely something, and moving forward is going to help me become a better player.
I guess in terms of the points, I guess that's one thing. But what do you like about the difference between this year and last year? What you're doing?
Just being more aggressive and really just taking advantage of, some of the opportunities that are coming my way. Rebounding and stuff like that. It's just been, working well for me so far.
Obviously, you're going to start becoming a focal point for defenses, throughout the regular season and into the ACC. What kind of things do you do to, help get your teammates even more involved?
Well, my game, if they're going to really focus in on me, it's going to just lead to a lot of spacing on the floor for a lot of the other guys. We saw that during some of the Kent State games, since they were, focused on not letting me get some shots up. That opened up the lane a lot for CC, Dwayne, guys like that to, get to the rim and not have to worry about a lot of defenders coming in to help. So, stuff like that, just really spacing the floor for them will help.
Just, there were questions before the season about chemistry and how quickly this team could come together. Was there just one game where it seemed like the light kind of went on, and what's happened over the last 4 or 5 games is just kind of a result of that?
No, I don't think chemistry was ever necessarily a problem with this team. Coach Mack and the coaching staff emphasizes all the time how important it's going to be for us to be together and, close-knit. So I don't think that was ever a problem. I just think that over the course of the season, we're just more getting into the flow of things. I don't think it's about chemistry. I just think that we're starting to get used to, our schedule and things like that. So I think the chemistry is going to continue to get better, but I think that I never thought that we had, bad chemistry. So.
This is another game where you guys are going to be heavily favored. Coming into, how do you guys keep the focus, on improving instead of, kind of leaning back a little bit when this is an opponent you should win big?
We don't look at any opponent and think, we're just gonna go out there and blow them out. Any opponent has a chance to, beat us. We got to go there with the same mentality every time that it's gonna be a tough game. We're gonna have to give it our all. So there's no, we're not leaning back on anything. We're still gonna go as hard as we would go for any other team. So we're just gonna focus on this game, and then after this, focus on the next. Just like I've said before, it's just about who's next up for us.
Robert Morris, they focus on scoring off of turnovers a lot too, similar kind of to Kent State, just from what you've seen on film so far. What are the similarities and differences between them and Kent State?
Yeah, they like to play fast. They get out and run, shoot a lot of threes. So it's really we have to, keep the turnovers down and just focus on getting back in transition.
Not to overlook the game tomorrow night, but after that, will you get a few days off, and you plan to go home? How do you going to spend the holidays?
Yeah, we get a few days home, and then we come back on Christmas, and we're gonna get back to practice, and worry about that next team we're gonna play the 29th.
Anything else for Jordan?
In terms of depth, what has kind of surprised you about how deep you all have been able to go on your bench?
For me, I know everybody on our team, has certain skill sets and a lot to bring to the table. So, for me, it's not so much about depth. I know everybody can play, but it's certainly like it's nice to see like a lot of guys coming along. Like for instance, Malik, has really been playing well. Being able to come in and back up Steve and play how he's playing, is going to be great for our team down the stretch. Same thing with VJ, Quan has been doing great. Guys like that. Everybody really coming off the bench has been doing their job in terms of depth. So, it's just going to help our team in the long run.
Good.